Welcome back to Dr. Liu's VCE Biology. Today's topic, determining the relatedness over time, as presented in the 2024 Victorian Certificate of Education, VCE, Biology exam. Let's learn together. If teachers, parents, or students notice mistakes in my explanations, please provide me with your feedback. While most marsupials are native to Australia, opossums are found in North America, and Monito del Monte is found in South America. The provided phylogenetic tree indicates that opossums and bandicoots last shared a common ancestor 77 million years ago. In contrast, bilbies and numbats shared a more recent common ancestor 63 million years ago. This greater evolutionary divergence means there would have been more time for mutations to accumulate, resulting in more differences in DNA sequences between opossums and bandicoots than between bilbies and numbats. Researchers recently explored variations in the DNA sequences of Indigenous Australians. They conducted the study in strict adherence to ethical guidelines, ensuring the research was beneficial and aligned with the community's ways of knowing. Individuals from 4 remote Indigenous communities in northern and central Australia, as well as non-Indigenous Australians, consented to participate. A recent ethical study on Indigenous Australian DNA revealed significant genetic diversity. While 46% of DNA variation was found within the same community, only 2.8% was shared across different communities, indicating highly distinct genetic sequences per community, mirroring their cultural and linguistic diversity. The study concluded that Indigenous Australians possess the highest DNA sequence variation outside Africa and are genetically distinct from non-Indigenous Australians, with a genetic isolation evident for at least 26,000 years. While the study's primary aim was to examine DNA variation in Indigenous Australians, non-Indigenous Australian DNA of European ancestry was also sequenced. This served as a comparative tool to illustrate the significant diversity of DNA sequences among Indigenous communities. Nevertheless, numerous responses erroneously suggested its purpose was to confirm interbreeding between Indigenous and non-Indigenous individuals. The ethical principle of respect could have been applied in this study by valuing Indigenous beliefs, cultures, customs, country, place, heritage, or kinship. Inviting Indigenous communities to participate in the research, or ensuring Indigenous individuals are provided. Following Indigenous Australians' governance and custodianship. Aligning research with Indigenous ways of knowing. Adhering to ethical guidelines and ensuring the research benefited the communities. The finding that 46% of DNA variation exists within a single community supports the conclusion that each community possesses highly diverse DNA sequences, suggesting the occurrence of genetic drift within populations. Conversely, the limited 2.8% DNA sequence variation observed between communities indicates distinct differences across them, implying limited gene flow, interbreeding, or migration between these groups. Genomic data indicate that these 4 communities either descended from a common ancestor or experienced a cessation of gene flow before their geographical isolation. This same data is also valuable for researchers to identify previously unknown genetic traits and assess if any community has an increased susceptibility to genetic diseases. This section, worth 10 marks, 8.3% of the total 120 marks, comprises 2 question types, multiple choice question, 1 mark question 36, Marsupials and Phylogenetic Trees, this question utilizes phylogenetic trees to illustrate the evolutionary relationships among marsupials, specifically highlighting genetic differences and evolutionary divergence between species, e.g., opossums, bandicoots, bilbies, numbats. Short answer questions. 9 marks. Question 9A and B. Genomic variation in Indigenous Australians. These questions detail the study's methodology and ethical considerations, including the sequencing of DNA from individuals in 4 remote Indigenous communities, and its comparison with non-Indigenous Australians of European ancestry. Question 9C and D. Implications of genomic data. These questions discuss how the genome contributes to understanding human genomic diversity and its implications for treating genetic diseases. If you need my help, please add me on WeChat or WhatsApp and send me an email. Thanks for your attention. Please note Dr. Liu's VCE Physics channel, Dr. Liu's VCE Chemistry channel, and Dr. Liu's VCE Biology channel.